Hey guys, Banana Lot here. Welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. We are back with today's reset, which I actually added the summoning events to the event page finally. So we have Wukong coming in on 27, which is Friday. A lot later than usual. I think normally we have limited banners starting on Thursdays, and I think that's because of the Lyra banner that's going on. So I guess they thought it's good to at least take like a day of breaks. And then the next day, we're going to have the Aeris and Setram banner. It's just a normal 15x banner, which is pretty unusual. Because last year in Christmas, we had 2x 15x banner, and it looks like this time around, we're just getting an ordinary banner like this. And yeah, other than that, we also have the Ingrid Ardea banner in the event notice. So it's taking place on Sunday, 29, and that's why it's not in the page yet because, yeah, only show up tomorrow at reset, but that is why it is. And today specifically, we just want to take a look at Aeris, talk about him, and I do also see quite a lot of rewards going on here. I do recall for the event shop can get up to 5 ancients from this, and there are a couple of more ancients from the mini games here. I believe this was like a Void Rift epilogue looking event, so probably your stage clearance will be from this one, and then you also have this couple more ancients, and these ancients will only come after the banner ends, so I won't count on this. Yeah, so maybe 5 from here, and maybe 2 and 2 from here, and then 2 from the last one. So probably get 9 ancients here before everything ends. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the new hero Aeris. So Aeris, Watcher, and Esotericist faction unit. We don't have a lot of those in game. We are starting to get a lot more unique faction combinations. For example, with Lyra, we have Inferno and Esotericist. And then for Aeris, we have Watcher and Esotericist instead. We also got a bunch of Watcher units coming into the game, like Callista, and yeah, I do think that some of them might pair well with an Ingrid team in GVG, but it'll take time to, see if that's actually the case. So first of all, base stats, 21k HP, 5k attack, pretty high for a fighter, 2.5 second attack interval, and the range is 3 tiles. In case this hasn't dawned upon you guys yet, it's very similar to another unit that we know, and that's Valk. So 3 tile range as well, and both of them have the same A1, which is extra attack range, which we'll take a look at later. So on a quick note, people are saying that Aeris Aeris is gonna be like the Valk, but for the Esotericist faction, and a couple of unique things in his kit as well, which we'll run through shortly. But yeah, he's built very similar in that sense. So Talent, when deployed, immediately triggers Mighty Thrust, which deals AoE damage, magic damage up to 5 enemies ahead, and this includes airborne units. Subsequently triggers Mighty Thrust every 5 basic attacks, and all of those deal 200% damage. And can see right here, basic magic attack, 120% AoE damage one time to up to 5 enemies in range. And then first passive, this is the interesting one. During the ultimate, triggers Destiny's Decree one time every 5 seconds, dealing 100% AoE damage, and this trigger interval goes down to 4 seconds. And what does Destiny's Decree do? Locks onto one enemy anywhere on the battlefield, dealing AoE magic damage one time to the target and up to 5 enemies around it. So, in case you guys are still not aware, who this reminds you of, this is basically Lady Alexandra with her Mark of Amenity, but this time around it's on a unit that's much more accessible. Granted, it does look like there's a lot less damage here. And then last passive, each time Mighty Thrust is triggered, increases the hero's attack by 10% at max level for 10 seconds. Each time Destiny's Decree is triggered, increases the hero's attack by 10% again for 10 seconds, and these effects can stack. So basically, he'll get a 10% attack increase almost permanently because this lasts for 10 seconds and the thrust will inflict every 5 basic attacks. And with Destiny's Decree though, it triggers every 4 seconds. So same thing, is just gonna stack up to 20% extra attack during his ultimate. And then onto his ultimate now. Increases the hero's damage by 40 seconds, attack range by 1. During the ultimate, basic attack can target airborne units, same as Valk. Reduces the number of basic attacks required to trigger the talent, which is Mighty Thrust, by 2. And the ultimate area effect turns into Golden Tremor, which is the 4 tower range here. You can see the ultimate here. There's like a invisible block there. And reduces movement speed of enemies in the affected area by 50 seconds. I do believe this affects the flyers. I don't remember these flyers taking so long to walk through. Let's try to replay to see. Yep, it's definitely slowed down. You can see the water splash marks at the bottom. So that's very interesting. I do think that for Aeris' faction teams in GVG, it's very easy to bait them, bait their ultimates out, and then it's hard to really survive with air units. So Aeris could change that potentially. Of course, we need to actually test him to find out. And one very big thing is that notice how this Rich cap is at 700. With Aeris' slot like Cyrus, that's gonna go down to 700 divided by 4, 525, which is an insanely low cost for an ultimate. So I could see Aeris working out really well there. And back to Destiny's Decree, right? This triggers every 4 seconds. With an ultimate duration of 25 seconds, it's gonna trigger 6 times. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if how Aeris actually does his ultimates, because some units, they do their ultimate when it's in range, right? There's an enemy in range. But in this case, will he like do his ultimate early just to get Destiny Decree triggers? I doubt it. I do think that he will still only cast his ultimate when there's something in range, but just interesting things to note. And also whether this is completely random or will it actually mark like units with like the lowest HP or something. We won't know until we see some testing, but very interesting unit. One thing to note though, his cost is actually very high at 26 cost. Probably won't see him being used in normal game modes as much, especially not the case for Arena. So GVG is probably where it's at. Maybe some other niche content next time that might need that global attack that he does with Destiny's Decree. So very interesting unit. I do feel from the get-go that he fits better with the Aeris' faction, just for that very low ultimate cooldown. Watchers, maybe, but yeah. Other than that, let's move on to his Awakenings. A1, like I say, it's exactly the same as Valk. Increases basic attack range by 1, so that's gonna go up to 4 tower range and then 5 tower range with his ultimate. Golden Tremor now also inflicts 20% damage reduction on enemies, and take note, it's like Valk. As long as they're in the range, they're gonna get a damage reduction right away. It's not gonna need Aeris to actually inflict any hits. So it's a nice touch, but I do think what's important here is probably the basic attack range increase. And then A2, extra attack. A3, during the ultimate, Mighty Thrust deals an extra 100% damage one time. So it's like 50% more damage because the Mighty Thrust does 200% AoE damage at the moment. A4, extra penetration, and A5, both Mighty Thrust and Destiny's Decree ignores 20% of the target's magic resistance. So I'll say nothing really crazy about his Awakenings in terms of mechanics, like nothing game breaking. It does just look like all damage increase. I do like the damage reduction here. I think it could be really useful for helping Cyrus to survive, and with that low rich cap, it is definitely going to be very easy to keep the uptime on Aeris' ultimate. But yeah, I would say A1 is what you want to go for to maybe try him out in GVG, but I wouldn't go for anything beyond that. I do hope to get at least one copy of him, and I do hope to do that by manipulating PD on the Wukong banner, because they are both going to have a banner at the same time. And speaking of which, I do have a Wukong pool party that's taking place originally on Friday, because I thought that the Wukong banner will start on Thursday and then Aeris on Friday, but it seems like they pushed back everything by a day, so I'm gonna shift the pool party to be on Saturday instead. So if you're interested, do sign up with the link below, just to make sure that we push it to a Saturday so that we can manipulate PD for anyone who hopes to summon on this. And yeah, I think Aeris is not that crazy of a unit, but I will want to pull a copy of him just to test him out. He also probably is going to be very helpful for Gear Dungeon 1, especially in replacing Valkyra. Because right now Valkyra needs a shield to really work out, right? But I've seen people testing Aeris on Gear Dungeon 1 and he works really well there, even without a shield on him. So I think there's potential there. I'll definitely want to test him out if I do pull him. But I think those are the considerations to have. I think that Aeris is going to make a solid replacement for Valkyra, but other than that, I don't think it's going to be really needed in any other aspects of the game. But yeah, maybe the meta will change, maybe people will find a use for Aeris in GBG, but we'll never know until then. So that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.